This news update is brought to you by...
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
It's your sun power.
It's the last day of the month and time for the 6 p.m. Barbados Day update for Wednesday, April 30, 2014. I'm Kmar Jordan. Good evening. We begin with fighting words from the National Union of Public Workers this evening in response to the termination of over 200 workers at the National Conservation Commission. The president of the NUPW, Walter Maloney, summoned members of the media to a hastily arranged press conference in which he issued a strong warning that the NUPW will not allow anyone to operate any government department as a personal fiefdom. The union's Deputy General Secretary, Rosalind Smith, also described the situation at the NCC as the final straw that broke the camel's back, as the union appears to be gearing up for action. The union has called out workers to a meeting on Friday morning at Codrington House, that's the NCC headquarters. It's also calling for the entire board of the NCC to step down. Meantime, President of the Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations, Dennis DePisa, is also weighing in on the layoffs at the NCC. He tells reporters the process is fundamentally flawed.
We have to speak out against that, and we are making a public record that is appalling, because if you look at the under the protocol, the procedures regarding layoffs, retrenchment, word dismissal, those are very clear in terms of the consultative process and all the other things that should follow. So again, we're saying that, remember, people manage a system and they don't always get it right. But what we are concerned about is the consistency of the action.
The unfolding developments at the NCC have not escaped the attention of the Labour Minister, Dr. Esther Baisuku. She says the situation points to a clear need for human resources practitioners in central government, statutory bodies and the private sector to refresh their understanding of Protocol 6, which speaks to a spirit of consultation prior to any action being taken.
I think we need to go back to those principles that have been embodied in there and that have allowed Barbados to maintain a fairly stable economic, industrial relations and even political climate, that spirit of consultation and understanding what consultation is. Yes, the Employment Rights Act does speak to a time limit, but it's not just an exercise that says, well, we sit here for 6 weeks. You know, but the spirit that says we sit here for 6 weeks looking for the best possible option for all concerned, the company as well as the workers.
Away from the Labour front, Home Affairs Minister Adriel Brathwaite signals he's not satisfied with the island's capacity to respond to natural disasters, and he's calling for a full assessment of the national response mechanism. Speaking at the national consultation on the post-2015 framework for disaster risk reduction today, Brathwaite said it's time to take stock.
We need to have not only do the analysis, but certainly we need to call an urgent meeting, for example, with the Ministry of Civil Service, where we need some additional volumes. We just don't have the resources at this point in time to bring us to where I would like to be able to stand here and deliver the policies that I have been prepared for me to deliver. And one might say, well, as Minister, it is your responsibility to get it done. Yes, it is my responsibility to get it done. It's just that we are not where we should be in my eyes at this point in time.
The much-touted Adopt a Kilometre program was rolled out today. It's an initiative that will see local companies adopting and maintaining a section of the highway. At today's launch, signs were mounted on the stretch from the airport to Graham Hall. Project coordinator Andrew Clark tells Barbados Today corporate Barbados is on board with the initiative.
So far, we have over 15 companies that have committed, but others are in the process of making the decision in terms of working with their budgets and whatnot. So we're hoping, we're quietly confident, for want of a better way of putting it, that we will have this stretch from Graham Hall to the airport full by at least mid-year.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Because she deserves it. Make her Mother's Day Send us a photo and a message telling the world why your mother is simply the best at love@barbadostoday.bb. Enter now for your chance to win lunch for two at the Crane Hotel and other prizes. The deadline is May 6th. Mom deserves it. All entries will be published.
To regional news now, Trinidad and Tobago's opposition leader, Dr. Keith Rowley, is threatening to lead a massive protest on the streets of Port-au-Spain if the Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar fails to launch a probe into the conduct of the Attorney General, Anand Ramlogan. Rowley has issued an ultimatum based on allegations by the former Solicitor General, Eleanor Donaldson Honeywell, about an unethical business venture between attorneys and inmates involved in prison litigation against the state. Last August, the Solicitor General wrote to the Prime Minister asking for the probe. The Prime Minister passed the letter on to the Attorney General for his attention, but last week Ramlogan produced an unsigned letter dated October 22, 2013 that he said was written by the Solicitor General to the Prime Minister, in which she, the Solicitor General, expressed satisfaction that the issues raised were adequately addressed and there was no further need for any investigation. But in a statement this week, Donaldson Honeywell, that's the Solicitor General, denied calling off her initial request for a probe. On the international scene, Oprah Winfrey is making a bid to buy the Los Angeles Clippers. According to reports, Winfrey is considering teaming up with David Jeffin and Laurie Ellison to take over the team from Donald Sterling, who's facing, as we all know now, massive pressure to sell the franchise as part of sanctions stemming from his racial comments. Sterling is heard on an audio recording scolding his girlfriend, V. Stiviano, for posting Instagram photos of herself with African-American friends and for bringing them to Clippers games. Winfrey has strongly criticized Sterling's comments, saying they're indicative of a plantation mentality. Well, that's our 6 p.m. update. You can join us again at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Until then, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, or like us on Facebook to get more news and sports. I'm Kamar Jordan. Have a fantastic evening and join us again tomorrow morning.
This news update is brought to you by...
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Catch the sun power.